Hello everybody, welcome back. I have a little friend here with me today. So if you hear little squeaks or see a tail, don't mind her. I hope the lighting is okay. The sun is going down because I completely forgot with daylight savings time. One thing about me is I am a rambler and I will yap till I'm blue in the face. So I did make notes so that I can refer to them so I don't just completely go off track. So if you do see me constantly looking down, that's because I'm just reading my notes. Welcome back to Her 30 Diaries. I don't think I said in my trailer what my name actually is, but you can't tell by the A on my chest. My name is Alex. I created this channel for the reasons that you can see in the previous video, and I'm so excited to kind of get started and get going and have a sit down chat with you all. So I am currently going through what I'm calling my lonely season. And what I define as the lonely season is when life just really slows down. I'm not currently dating. So if you are single out there, you'll realize too, like, no one's trying to see you on a Friday night. There's no weekend plans with a man happening. And besides that, I also feel like my social life has really slowed down a lot as well. Step number 1, we're going to change our victim mindset and turn it into empowerment. We live in such an online curated world where we're constantly watching other people live their lives, and they make their lives seem so fulfilling and enriching and exciting. They got the dream career, they got all the money in the world, they got the dream partner. And it can really sometimes make us feel like, well, why don't we have that? Like, why is she more special than me? Why doesn't my life look busy and fulfilling? But I think if you can just take a moment and realize that's just someone's highlight reel. I might be in this quiet season of my life, but I'm going to reframe that negative energy and I'm going to spin it to, this is actually my season of life to become the version of myself that I have always wanted to be. Actually just clearing space for me to grow. So let's not call it being lonely or put any negative connotations on it. Let's reframe this to be a season of growth and getting to know ourselves and who we want to become. Because yes, even in your 30s, you can decide who you want to become. You can change your life in any decade. I don't care if you're 70, if you decide you want to be a New York Times best-selling author, you can still do that. This time period is such a good period to take all the love and energy and emotion you've been putting into other people and pour it all back into yourself. And I think another important factor with this season as well is that when you do reframe it and you start to see that you don't need to chase external validation or connections anymore to feel self-peace and some joy. And so I think the most important piece of this is learning to sit in the lonely. And for so many people, this can be so uncomfortable. We don't like being left to our own devices. We don't like hearing our own inner thoughts. We don't want to face the discomfort inside of us because it's going to make us realize what we've outgrown, what we need to change. We are creatures of habit. Our brains are wired for safety. We don't want to be uncomfortable. And I think we're in a world now where people are constantly chasing those external validations, like I mentioned before, so they don't have to face themselves. But once you go through that discomfort of realizing maybe the patterns that haven't been working for you in the past, the thoughts that haven't been serving you, what you may need to change in your life in order to get from point A to point B, and you learn to really sit with that discomfort and accept it, that's when the real magic can begin. As corny as that sounds, but it is true. Learning to just sit with yourself is so pivotal for self-growth. I also would highly encourage to really take this time and not self-deflect. Don't doom scroll on social media. Don't binge watch Netflix constantly. Don't call up that toxic ex looking for some hit of validation or dopamine. We're not doing that. We are fully immersing ourselves in the discomfort because, again, that discomfort is going to allow us to just catapult to the next level. And on that next level, your ex doesn't live there. Okay, I'm switching it up a little bit because the sun is starting to go down, so sorry for the quick change in lighting and everything. Take this lonely season and just embrace it. Let it be. because that's when you're going to really be able to tune into your own inner thoughts, and your intuition can actually start to speak to you, because we often silence that. I think as women, we're also just so conditioned to put everybody else's needs before our own. And this is the time to really just be selfish and ask yourself, like, what do I want? What makes me happy? Next step of sitting in the lonely is using this as a perfect time to turn it into self-development and pouring your energy into things that maybe you didn't have time for in the past. I always see online, people are like, oh, I just don't have time for the gym. I'm so tired after work, or I don't have time to cook or eat healthy. I'm always on the go. Insert excuse and reasoning here. But when you're sitting in this quiet season of life, there are no excuses. You are going to hold yourself accountable, and you are going to take all that beautiful love you gave away so freely to people who never deserved it in the first place, and you're going to pour it back into you, because you are somebody who did deserve it in the first place. Building yourself some healthy habits. Maybe you do want to get started in the gym. Start with some walks, start with Pilates, yoga, spin, lift some weights. Find what works for you to move your body. Build nourishing, healthy eating habits. Get some recipe books and start experimenting. Look up recipes online. The next one is romanticizing little rituals like skincare, body care, hair care. This is something that I've been personally doing. I've been getting into gua shaing, dry brushing, and really taking the time after I shower to really put some lotion on. And I'm not gonna lie, I skip this most times. I've had a dry brush and a gua sha for years, and do you think I really touch those things? Like every once in a while, I'll be like, yeah, okay, sure. And then I'd always tell myself, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get into the habit, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get in the habit, and then I just don't. And for the last 3 weeks, I've really been consistent, and I've felt so proud of myself just to romanticize taking care of myself and just the small things that you would normally brush over. Taking my time and really learning what works for my skin and just enjoying the feeling of taking care of myself has been really nice. This period is also going to allow us to develop so much self-respect and self-discipline. Your boundaries, they might have been down here with other people, but they're about to be like up here. We're not going to be accepting bare minimum breadcrumbs, low effort, anybody in our lives. Because once you go through this period and you realize how much you can do for yourself and how much love and attention you can put into yourself, whoever tries to come into your space next and try and meet you with effort way below that, no, they can get out of here, because you now know that you can fully immerse yourself in love and you don't need someone's breadcrumbs or bare minimums. We're not going to accept that. We've defined what the quiet season looks like. We've turned our victim mindset and made it a positive one. We've reframed that this is a perfect opportunity for us to become who we want to be. We've defined who that person is that we want to be. We have now created these beautiful, healthy habits for ourselves and poured so much love and attention and energy into ourselves in our daily routines. You can become who you have always wanted to attract. We're not going to be chasing, we're going to be embodying. I know you might have thought I was going to say, we don't chase, we attract, but no, we don't chase. We embody what we want to become. So if you're like, oh, I really want someone who's really fit and healthy and likes to go for runs on Sunday mornings and then have brunch down by the lake, I don't know, something like that. I'm just making things up as I go along, but do you do that? Do you get up early on a Sunday morning and go for a run? Oftentimes we have such a massive wish list for what we want our future partner to be, but we don't even embody half those characteristics ourselves. Until now, because sitting in this quiet season, we are going to embody who we want to attract, like I said. So I think having this time to just truly reflect and then visualize on who we want to become and what we want to achieve out of life, and then stepping out and acting as that self, and then it'll just be inevitable that you're just going to start attracting differently, because you're now on a higher level, babe. Like, I think if we can see our lonely chapter as a blessing as well, that is going to massively change our perspective on this time period, and realize that this is actually such a gift. It is a blessing to be able to really have that time and space to figure ourselves out and what we want out of life. You are going to learn what truly fills you versus what was just distractions. I think when you just stop fighting the seasons of life and accept them and feel gratitude for them, that's when peace is going to come in. Just remember that sitting in this period of life can be the biggest act of self-love and self-respect that you can give yourself. And just because nothing is going on, it doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of growth happening. All right, so the sunshine's going down and my lighting is getting crazy, but look, the glow. The glow is quite nice. A lot of people do talk about gratitude in life, and I think it is just so important to be grateful for this chapter, because while it can seem really lonely, and we're human, we are wired for connections, so it can feel a little sad sometimes, and that's okay. Two truths can exist. You can be a little sad sometimes or feel like you're missing out, but you can also be grateful for the time to spend alone and have some self-development. And I know that I have my moments of really wishing that I could find my person, and I still do, but I also know that this is such a nice time in life to just be with myself and really pour my love and energy back into myself, because at the end of the day, we truly only have ourselves to fully lean on and rely on. So become your own best friend. I keep having to move where the sun is going. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. A part of sitting in my lonely season is going after something that I have always wanted to do, which is to create content on YouTube and be a YouTuber. It's something that I've shied away from for the past 15 years, and which is crazy. I used to want to be a beauty YouTuber so bad, but I took one look at myself on the camera and I was like, you absolutely not. And then I always talked myself down. So just for a little bit of personal information, what I'm doing with this lonely period is really seeing what my limiting beliefs are and rewiring them and just doing the damn thing anyways. And that is just creating this channel and this space and this content that I have always wanted to. So I appreciate you listening, and I hope that there came some helpful tips out of this. And I'm just so excited to see where this journey continues. And yeah, I appreciate it. Bye guys.